This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Our best tools to keep our schools, businesses, and communities open are wearing masks and getting vaccinated.
Coming up, Governor Brown defends her decision to order vaccine mandates as COVID patients tax hospitals statewide. Then an organization in Hillsborough is distraught and incensed after a local charitable food storage spot is vandalized once again. Plus, love over hate and violence. That's what advocates are campaigning for after opposing political groups face off downtown. Just ahead this morning, the plan encouraging city leaders to address this problem. Good morning to you on this Friday. Yes, there was a lot going on today, but the weekend is in sight.
Yes.
And I am loving today's cooler temperatures.
True story. I'm driving my car this morning. It starts to rain a little bit up in Clark County, and I'm like, gosh darn it, which side of the steering column is the which side? I couldn't remember.
Long. Yeah.
Right. Well, there's not much out there on radar, although I bet you if you're driving up into the Cascades, you'll get some fairly consistent light rain showers. There's a shower right now up in North Portland, kind of just south of PDX. Also a light shower showing up in Salmon Creek. So here we go with cool weather, cloudy skies all day, an ongoing chance of a light shower around. Currently 62, 60s at noon. That could be the high, and we may not make it. 73 at 5 p.m.
That looks beautiful. All right, Rod, thank you so much. The Oregon Health Authority says the vast majority of new COVID cases are in the unvaccinated. OHA released new data showing 85% of cases in August were from people who didn't get the shot. That is 14% of those people were vaccinated. Of those, 5.8% of the breakthrough cases were hospitalized, and less than 1% have died from the virus. Meanwhile, the state reports close to 3,000 new cases and 19 more deaths. Dire and overwhelming. Those are just two of the words state leaders are using to describe the toll COVID is taking on Oregon's hospital system. Yeah, as Mike Benner reports, Governor Kate Brown is announcing new vast measures to slow the spread.
We cannot wait for help to come.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown not mincing words. More than 800 Oregonians are hospitalized with COVID, she says, and 93% of hospital and ICU beds are full.
Some hospital regions are beginning the day with 2 ICU beds available or none at all.
I want to be honest.
Oregon Health Authority Director Patrick Allen's projections aren't any better.
The situation in Oregon's hospitals is growing increasingly dire. Our healthcare system is on the verge of collapse in parts of the state. In coming weeks, every Oregon hospital could be overtopped.
Because of this, Governor Brown is ordering all healthcare workers to be fully vaccinated by October 18th, or 6 weeks after full FDA approval, whichever is later. Healthcare workers will no longer have the option to be tested weekly in lieu of the vaccine, as the governor suggested in early August.
We must proactively implement solutions right now. We need every single frontline healthcare worker healthy and available to treat patients.
The Oregon Nurses Association is balking at the new mandate, arguing that it could make the situation worse instead of better. ONA worries that some healthcare workers will leave the profession before rolling up their sleeves for a shot, leading to a dangerous staffing crisis in hospitals across the state.
In the meantime, Governor Brown is also announcing that all K-12 employees and volunteers must be fully vaccinated by October 18th or 6 weeks after full FDA approval. The Portland Association of Teachers, for one, supports the mandate, but
there are those who will disagree with the actions I'm taking today. But school is starting across the state. COVID-19 poses a threat to our kids, and our kids need to be protected, and they need to be in school.
The governor says she's willing to take the heat for this decision, not to mention the decision to require all healthcare workers to get vaccinated as well.
Our best tools to keep our schools, businesses, and communities open are wearing masks and getting vaccinated.
The situation is so bad, Governor Brown revealed that she plans to deploy the National Guard and nurse strike teams to assist in hospitals. She also plans to ask FEMA and President Biden for resources and support. I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.
The Oregon Education Association released this statement about the governor's vaccine requirement. It says it's become clear the worst of the pandemic is not behind us.
The statement goes on to read, quote, OEA believes the new requirement will help provide stability for students this fall and will help improve safety in our communities. The science on the issue is clear. Vaccines combined with other public health mitigation strategies are the best way to ensure schools stay open. However, not everybody is on board with the governor's decision. The Columbia County Sheriff released this letter to the governor. Brian Pixley says he believes counties should be the ones making decisions about mask and vaccine mandates, not the state. While he says he hopes his letter will start a dialogue, he ends by saying citizens of Columbia County will choose to mask or get vaccinated.
All right, let's get to 3 more quick things to know about COVID. Number 1, the almost 14 million Americans who got the Johnson & Johnson single-dose shot may have to wait weeks to find out if they need a booster. The Biden administration says it's now gathering the data it'll use to make that decision. Health officials haven't decided if people need a second round of that vaccine or switch to an additional shot of Pfizer or Moderna. Number 2, researchers created models that estimated the number of COVID deaths that would have happened had there not been any vaccinations. They say nearly 140,000 deaths and 3 million cases were prevented because of the vaccines. They also say the economic value of the lives saved is estimated between $625 billion and nearly $500 billion. And number 3, Customs and Border Patrol agents in Alaska seized more than 3,000 fake COVID vaccine cards at the airport. They say the cards looked almost authentic but had low quality printing. Officials are investigating the shipments but say the cards were sent from China. And those are 3 things to know about COVID.
Multnomah County is investigating 3 recent deaths that could have been caused by last week's heat wave. The most recent was on August 18th. The other 2 came on the 15th and 16th in Portland. All 3 are under investigation, but it'll likely be weeks before we know anything else. This comes after 62 people died from hyperthermia during the historic heat wave in June. Before this summer, only 2 people have died from the heat in Multnomah County since 2010.
An important resource for some people living in Hillsborough has been vandalized, but that will not stop a community organization from giving out free food. Love Your Black Community set up the free refrigerator back in December, so anyone can stop by here on East Main Street and take anything they need or leave items for others. The group even hired an artist to paint the fridge, but on Tuesday someone tagged it with spray paint. Love Your Black Community had to empty it out over fears the food might be contaminated.
It's happening like too much now, you know, and it's just it's a hate crime to me. It impacts a lot of the community, so it's not something where it's like, okay, we're going to get rid of it.
Love Your Black Community says it plans to raise funds to help clean up and fix the damage, but it won't let this crime stop it from providing for neighbors in need.
Happening today, there are 2 press conferences in Portland that address violence in our community. For more on this, let's check in with KGW's Bryant Clerkley live in the newsroom. Bryant, you talked to a mental health professional who's going to be speaking out today.
That is right, and good morning, Brenda. The mayor of Portland, Ted Wheeler, says he is having a virtual event planned called Choose Love, and at another event, advocates will press the city for solutions. And both of today's gatherings are in part in response to what happened earlier this month in downtown Portland. On August 9th, there was a clash between far-right groups and left-wing protesters at Waterfront Park. The violence continued the next day. Fireworks were thrown and paintball guns were used. No arrests were made, and advocates from 5 groups plan to call on the city to do more about violence with extremist groups. Jason Renaud will be one of the speakers. He's with the Mental Health Association of Portland and says people with disabilities are twice as likely to become victims of violence.
It affects the mental health and wellness, the morale and camaraderie of the city when we see people fighting in the streets and we see people who have very extreme views come in to assert those positions, which are quite at odds with our community values.
Amy Hersfeld is with a group promoting inclusive democracy. Members of the group will be speaking at the city's Choose Love event.
we think it's time for Portland and surrounding communities and even the state to rise up and say there's no place for hate and political violence in our city.
Advocates plan to push the city to invest more money into the community. And when the clashes happened earlier this month, Portland police say they couldn't respond because officers were already responding to a shooting and a robbery. Back to you guys.
Clearly, something needs to be done. I hope this gains some traction. Bryant, thank you for the update. 10 minutes after the hour, let's check back with Rod. You're keeping your eye on a little bit of rain.
Yeah, so far we've had reports of very light showers, just enough to kind of flip on the windshield wiper. There's a disturbance that's going to fly through Washington state later today. And basically what it's doing is it's giving us a thick, low cloud deck. And at any time this morning through tomorrow afternoon, you could find a spritz of a light rain shower to be found. Here's Futurecast at 9:30 this morning. The green spots are the possibility, mainly some traceable rain showers. That continues at 1:30. Cloudy skies overall. Here we are this evening at 7:30. The rain chance overnight through tomorrow morning. Here we are at 12:30 Saturday afternoon. Eventually tomorrow, the rain chance, I think in the PM hours, will go away. We'll start to get some clearing. And then Sunday looks to be a dry, partly cloudy day after any morning cloudiness that we could still possibly have. All right, early morning numbers. It's going to be a dry day east of the Cascades. It's in the 40s in Baker City and Burns, 43 in Burns, as a matter of fact. So the rain chances here on the west side and up over the Cascades today. And basically, if you're going to be out and about, including the coast, you'll find a better rain chance the farther north you travel, less so the farther south that you travel. Remember, the disturbance itself is tracking to our north up across Washington. Temps today, thanks to a lot of cloud cover, 75 in Salem. Again, no guarantees that everybody in Marion County sees any rain today. Some of you might just be dry under mostly cloudy skies and even a thin spot in the cloud deck. Up north, though, Cowlitz County, I bet most of you see at least a trace. Could be similar conditions in Battleground, where it will only be about 69. Vancouver gets up to 73. And I have Portland at 73 today and tomorrow. Sunday, completely dry, 77. Maybe staying in the 70s Monday. That'd be 4 days in a row. And we've lowered the temperatures to no higher than the mid-80s going into the mid part of next week. That's your forecast.
All right, sounds perfect, Rod. Thank you. It will be a World Series debut for Lake Oswego Little League. Coming up, hear about the team's experience leading up to the tournament that happens later this morning. And there's new concerns rising over masks in schools. Some parents think wearing one raises carbon dioxide levels in kids. Our Verify team explains why that is not true next.